shining bright like a shadow shine, dreaming high like the stars, dancing through without flight. And everything is such a meaning, every cloud has silver lining. As long as you are still breathing, don't waste your time, keep fighting. Even if you drift and fall, look down mountain, still stand tall. Believe yourself and keep on running. Stay dreaming. Fly away to the sky, shining bright like a shadow shine, dreaming high like the stars, dancing through without flight. And everything is such a meaning, every cloud has silver lining. As long as you are still breathing, don't wait.
Ayan guys, good morning po sa inyong lahat. Ngayon po yung araw na ang araw ng aming pong injection. Magpapa-inject po kami ng kates. Ayan, hinintay ko na po siya. Pupunta na po kami dito sa pinakamalapit na accredited na kung saan kami pwede po magpa-inject. See you soon. Bye-bye. Ang ma-snow na panahon dito po ngayon sa Toronto, Canada. Ayan, abangan nyo po ang ating gagawing pagpapa-inject ng aking kasama na si Kates Mohar.
Has just hit a new milestone in the national vaccine rollout, and vaccine deliveries are set to ramp up even more this week. The Public Health Agency of Canada says as of yesterday, 10 million vaccines have been delivered to the provinces and territories. That's enough first doses for over a quarter of Canada's population. But only about 10% of Canadians have had their first shot. Nearly 2.2 million additional doses are set to arrive this week, coming in from Pfizer, from Moderna, and from AstraZeneca. The AstraZeneca shots will be the first to come in from South Korea and the COVAX Global Vaccine Sharing Program. There is a sizable gap, though, between, I was just mentioning, the shots that have been delivered and the shots that are going into Canadian arms. And there are concerns this week about the pace of vaccination in this country. So let's look to all of that with Janice McGregor in Ottawa. What is the government saying about those numbers? First of all, Janice.
Yeah, let's explore this gap in some detail, Heather, because the federal government really wants to put to rest this idea that the reason more people aren't vaccinated is that there isn't enough supply, which is something that we have heard on and off from different provincial premiers for quite some time now. I want to show you a series of tweets, really, from Health Minister Patty Hajdu. I think important to note this morning, even from the communication strategy front, I think she is previewing probably what we're going to hear from the Prime Minister later this morning, talking about that 10 million figure. Important for the federal government because it kind of has exceeded its promise for the first quarter. Remember, it said it'd bring in 6 million. Now it says as of April 5th, 10 million have arrived, beating expectations, if you will, for the early months here. But what it leaves us with is a series of tweets where she lays out kind of a gap between what each province has received and what they have administered. There is a big debate underway about what that gap represents. Some have said, you can't run your vaccination system like just-in-time inventory. It is reflective of sort of just the time it takes, frankly, to go from tarmac to arm. And they've pushed back against this idea that when you see these big numbers, that this is somehow the sign of an excessive stockpile just sitting around. But let's look at the tweet. She said, for Ontario, note the kind of numbers we're talking about. You can see, if your morning math isn't too bad, that the difference between what's been delivered and what's administered in this tweet of hers is about 1.5 million for Ontario. If you look at her tweet about Quebec, you can see the kind of gap there is about 750,000 doses. Without a central tracking system we can all go to, it is possible for the provinces to kind of dispute this number. But I think the bottom line here is that there is a lot now for the provinces to work with. We did see over the long weekend that the number of injections on, say, the Friday and the Sunday, the statutory holidays, did go down. But then yesterday we had our biggest day ever in Canada as far as vaccinations. The Open Data Working Group saying we had 320,000 Canadians get a needle yesterday. So I guess the question is, as we go into this week, Heather, are we going to see that kind of pace continue through this week, or was it kind of a one-day blip? If it continues, we may be getting to this place where we are finally seeing provinces and territories injecting on a pace that matches these big deliveries that we're now landing. But the proof is going to be in the stats as they carry on through the week. And unfortunately, I think especially in Ontario, the fact is that even with kind of all these deliveries and all these injections, you are not going to outrun those variants. And there are still some difficult decisions to be made in hot zones and questions to be asked about whether the vaccines we have are being used in the best way possible to kind of limit the damage this spring.
Janice McGregor in Ottawa, thank you very much.
647 828 yep 7885.
Okay, and do you have your email address?
Yes. Navy Nick NE
NE, yep.
I
I
Victory
Victor,
double E
double
N
E,
NYK
M-
nevinik@gmail.com.
and do you have proof of mailing address, right?
Yeah, my number 87 Great Avenue.
Okay, so I just want to verify everything. Okay, so this is your mailing address, right?
Pretty, thank you for watching. Ayun nga mga ka-pretty, salamat po sa inyong kakapanonood. Ayan, para ma-notify po kayo sa mga upcoming video ko guys, don't forget to hit the notification bell.